Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. I hope that you will consider subscribing. So today's video is a collaboration with Jeni's Scratch Kitchen. Jeni contacted me and asked me if I would be part of her cookie collab for the month of December, and I gladly accepted. So make sure you check out the other cookie videos that she will have in a playlist on her channel. I will leave a link to her channel in the description box below my video. So today I'm going to bring you a video on one of my favorite Christmas cookies. I've been making this cookie for longer than I care to admit, and it was a cookie recipe from Ocean Spray, the people who are all things cranberry. I found it many years ago. You know how they have those little recipe books at the checkout when you're at the grocery store. That's where I found the recipe. It had a bunch of different Christmas cookie recipes in it, and this was one of them. And I love it for a number of reasons. Number one, it uses fresh cranberries, which is much different than most cookies. Most cookies use the sweetened dried cranberries, which there's nothing wrong with those, but I love the idea of fresh cranberries in my cookies. The second reason I love it is because it is super easy and it doesn't take very many ingredients. It's very forgiving and it's an easy cookie to do. On top of that, it's absolutely beautiful and totally festive, great for a Christmas cookie. Like I said, this is a basic cookie, Ocean Spray on their website, and I will leave a link to their recipe. They do call it a chocolate dipped cranberry cookie, but you do not have to dip them in chocolate. They are equally delicious, dipped or undipped, but the addition of dipping them in chocolate makes them very festive and really yummy. The other thing that I wanted to mention that I like about this cookie is it's not overly sweet. A lot of Christmas cookies tend to be super sweet, and there are a lot of people out there who do not like things that are super sweet or lots of frosting or anything like that. So you're going to need shortening, sugar, vanilla, 1 egg, flour, baking powder, salt, and of course fresh cranberries. And then if you'd like, obviously some chocolate for dipping and some nuts for topping if you prefer. That's totally optional because they are absolutely delicious and beautiful all on their own. So as I started working with this recipe, I am usually a butter girl when it comes to cookies, and their recipe called for all shortening. So I kind of went on a mission to understand the difference between using shortening and butter. Butter has a lower melting point than shortening does, which causes cookies to spread a lot, but butter does lend flavor to the cookies. If you use shortening in a cookie recipe, that helps for them to hold their shape better, but you lose a little bit of flavor. So as I tested this recipe throughout the years, I've gone back and forth with butter or shortening. I've done it, as they stated, with just shortening. I've done it with just butter. I tend to like a combination of the two. I love that the shortening helps them to hold their shape better, so when you're baking them, they don't spread so much. But I really like the flavor of butter. So for today's purposes, I found the sweet spot, which is going to be a 1/2 cup of butter and a 1/2 cup of shortening. If you want your cookies to maintain their shape, do all shortening. If you don't mind your cookies spreading and you want a little more flavor, you can go all butter. So you can't really go wrong any way you do this recipe. Whatever fat you choose to use is totally fine. I'm gonna meet in the middle and do 1/2 butter and 1/2 shortening. So I'm gonna bring you in close and we're gonna get started. Okay guys, we are going to start by mixing together our dry ingredients. I have 2 cups of all-purpose flour in my bowl. To that, I am going to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and just a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm just gonna give that a quick whisk together. All right, to my mixing bowl, I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of butter and a 1/2 cup of shortening. You want to make sure both are softened at room temperature. We're also going to add 1 cup of granulated sugar. We're going to combine that and mix it really well together until it's light and fluffy. Okay, now we are going to add 1 egg. And about 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract. If you wanted to do cranberry orange cookies, you could add some orange extract here. You could also add in some orange zest. So now I'm gonna mix that together until it's thoroughly combined. Okay, I did scrape down my bowl, finished mixing it until it was thoroughly combined. Now we are going to add our dry ingredients to our wet ingredients, and you're gonna mix that on low just until it's all mixed together. You do not wanna overmix cookie dough or your cookies will be tough. All right, I'm gonna scrape down my bowl again. All right, and now we are going to gently stir in our 2 cups of coarsely chopped fresh cranberries. So pretty. So I just use a spatula and go under and over gently until they're pretty mixed in with our cookie dough. Okay, you just basically want to gently fold in your cranberries. Isn't that beautiful dough? So simple and just delicious and so beautiful. So now we are ready to drop by rounded teaspoons onto a parchment lined baking sheet. If you are not using parchment, you're going to want to make sure that you grease your baking sheet. So we're just going to use a nice rounded teaspoon for each cookie. And you're going to want to space them about 2 inches apart or so. All right, this dough is pretty forgiving and easy to work with. I like for my cookies to keep their shape, so I just kind of go around and use my fingers to just kind of round out the edges so that they stay more round during the baking process. All right, I'm gonna pop my baking sheet into a preheated 350-degree oven for approximately 10 minutes. You don't wanna overbake them. They should just barely start to brown just a little bit, and it should only take about 10 minutes. Okay guys, so my cookies are all done. I just baked them just until they start turning golden brown on the edges. I don't know if you can see that very well on camera, but you just want them to be just a tiny bit golden brown, and then I let them sit on my baking sheet for an additional minute or 2 to cool. You want to let them cool completely, and I just want to point out again that we did have some spreading because I used the butter. If you use just the shortening, they stay in more of a mounded shape and they'll be smaller. They don't spread as much, but I like the flavor of that the butter lends to the cookie. So anyway, just a little bit about that, the butter and the shortening. So now we're ready to do the fun part. So we're going to take our cooled cookies and we're going to dip half of them in chocolate. I'm just using melted chocolate chips, but you could use melting wafers, whatever it is that you like. And if you would like to, you can take some chopped nuts and sprinkle those across the top before your chocolate sets. I don't think I'm going to do nuts on all of them because not everyone likes nuts. I am using walnuts. I think walnuts and cranberries go deliciously together, but that's just my opinion. Another great option would be to use white chocolate instead and then sprinkle them with some green sprinkles. And so you have the combination of the white, red, and green, which looks very festive. But anyway, they're delicious and so fun. Your other option is you could just drizzle some chocolate. If you wanted to, drizzle a little bit of chocolate across the top would be fine. My chocolate doesn't want to drizzle very well, but anyway, that's another option too. Or you could leave the chocolate out altogether. They're absolutely delicious and beautiful all on their own. Okay guys, how easy was that recipe? Do these not just look beautiful and scream Christmas? Bring it in a little bit closer. It doesn't matter if you like them just plain or dressed in chocolate and nuts or just chocolate or just a little drizzle. However you do it, you cannot go wrong. Now, something I wanted to mention here, and I did mention it a little bit before as I was talking about the chocolate, These are really pretty if you dip them in white chocolate and sprinkle them with green jimmies or green sprinkles. It just makes them look so festive and so pretty, and they scream Christmas. I was in a hurry and forgot to get white chocolate at the grocery store. So all I had on hand was chocolate chips, which I don't think is the best thing to use for dipping. My preference is the Ghirardelli melting wafers. They're high quality chocolate and they're perfect for dipping. So I do recommend those. I'll try to leave a link in the description box below because I really think that you get the best results by using those instead of chocolate chips. But in a pinch, you can certainly use chocolate chips. But let me show you how beautiful these are. Another way to change these up would be to add some orange extract and some orange zest. Would make them cranberry orange. They're absolutely delicious that way also. But I just wanted to give you a close-up of the cookie. See how you just bake them until they're nice golden brown, but they're so beautiful, and they're a little bit chewy. You have the beautiful fresh cranberries. I love the fresh cranberry in there. Absolutely amazing. They taste fantastic. So perfect for the Christmas holiday. Thanks for coming along with me today, guys. If you have any comments or questions, leave them for me in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.